Hello, everybody. I hope that you are all having an amazing day today. We are going to do a little introduction to somatic exercise. So, somatic movement is a way to get more deeply connected with the body, with the physical body. Our SOMA, so the meaning of the SOMA is our house or our home. And for a lot of us, we actually don't spend a lot of time within our home. We spend a lot of time very distracted. We have a lot of stimulation coming in from many sources, whether it be technology or work or children or just life things that are happening around us. Because of that, our nervous system gets overly stimulated. And then it's harder to make really great decisions because we're not in a space of rest and digest. We're living in the sympathetic nervous system where we should be more in the parasympathetic nervous system state, which means we're always living in fight or flight. For a majority of people, that's where we are. So we want to try to get out of that space if possible. And a great way to do that is by connecting with the physical body. The other part to somatic movement is to help correct certain neuromuscular patterns. So within somatic movement, we talk about sensory motor amnesia. So that means that our muscles have two jobs. They contract and they relax. But because of things such as injury, chronic stress, perhaps repetitive tasks, so maybe you're at a desk all day, those muscles get stuck in the contracted state. So let's say you have an injury and the muscles contract to protect that area. Those muscles sometimes will forget from a neurological perspective how to relax. So then we end up with all of these muscular movements that are not very healthy for our bodies. So with the somatic movement, we're looking to try to allow and teach the muscles that they can relax again, which can also help with muscular pain that somebody may be feeling. So all of the movements within somatic exercise are very slow, very mindful, and it will feel very, very slow. I'm going to take you through everything, just a really gentle practice today. So this could be done in the evening before you go to bed to help relax, or maybe it's something nice to start off the day with and get grounded. When we work within somatic movement, we want to make sure that everything feels really comfortable. We never want to move we never want to move to the point of pain or discomfort. Always, always in your comfort zone. So that means if there's a movement that does not feel comfortable for you, feel free to change your positioning. You can even do these movements in your mind. You don't have to do the full movement. You can just listen, close your eyes, and imagine that you're doing the movements, and it will still have an effect and impact on those muscles. So really small movements, really mindful movements. The type of somatic exercise that I am trained in is called Hanna Somatics. So again, there are different types of somatic movement and exercise that you may see in different places. I'm going to take you through a lot of movement for our core digestive system. So you may hear some gurgling happening. A lot of that comes from relaxation as well. You might want to have some pillows. I suggest bedroom pillows. So 2 bedroom pillows, either 2 or 3. You might want a blanket so that you stay nice and warm. Just make sure that you're feeling really comfortable. You can do this on the floor. You could do the movement seated as well, or you could do them lying on a couch or your bed. Again, we want to be fully present, fully comfortable. I will be inviting you to close your eyes during the practice. I'm going to do my best with verbal instructions. If you are not comfortable with your eyes closed, then feel free to keep them open. by closing the eyes. So the whole idea with somatic movement, and sort of one of their mantras is you cannot see inward by looking outwards. So that just means that if we're always looking outwards, it's really hard to get connected, or it's more difficult to get connected within. So with the eyes closed, we can get connected really deeply to our physical body. So just make sure, again, it feels comfortable for you. If at any time you need a break from it, just lengthen the legs and work on the breath and connect in that way. All right. We always start and finish with a SOMA scan, so I'm going to take you through that. So just making sure that you're comfortable. I'm going to lie down fully, and I'll invite you to lengthen the legs. If that does not feel comfortable, you can bend the knees with the feet flat on the floor, or you can put something underneath the knees. So again, just coming to that nice, comfortable space. A reminder to enter into this space without any judgment, any expectations. This is all about connection. Let's start with a nice deep inhale, either through the nose or the mouth, filling the belly with air. And exhale through the mouth or the nose. And again, nice deep inhale. And exhale, releasing some of that muscle tension. And we'll just do that one more time. Nice deep inhale, fill the belly with air. And exhaling. Beautiful. So we're going to start tuning into the body. Take note of how you're feeling before the practice. I want you to just do a little scan throughout the body right now, and just use the mat underneath you or whatever surface you're in contact with. Use that as a sensory feedback. So really thinking about starting at the head, the back of the head. How does your head feel on the mat? Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Is your head rolled from one side or the other? And moving down into the neck and the shoulders. Just noticing if we're carrying any tension in that area. Are my shoulders lifted? Are they lying more flat? Moving down into the back of the shoulder blades, down through the upper back. Where do you feel your shoulder blades connecting to the mat? Is there any tightness or tension? Are they laying flat on the mat or lifted up slightly? Bringing your attention around the front of the rib cage, into the front of the chest, the front of the shoulders, down into the abdominal area. Again, just taking note of what you're feeling in this space where we're holding on to tensions. Take a nice deep inhale, fill the belly with air. And exhaling fully. Moving down through the belly to the pelvic area. Just noting in the pelvis, where are the hip bones sitting? Is it tilted maybe to one side? Is there more pressure through one side than the other? Coming around to the back again, into the lower back, down into the glute muscles. And just taking note of where we're holding on to tensions. Moving down through the back of the legs and the hamstrings, through the quadriceps, the front of the leg, into the knees, the front of the knees and the back of the knees. Where are your knees sitting and falling? Are they rolled out to the sides? Are they pointing straight up towards the ceiling? Taking note of the hands and the fingers and the wrists and the arms. Are your palms facing the floor or are they facing the ceiling? Are you holding any tension in the hands and the fingers? And finishing down through the front of the shins, through the calf muscles, down through the ankles, wiggling the toes slightly, just feeling the bottoms of the feet and then the top of your feet. Are your toes pointed out towards the sides or are they up towards the ceiling? Are we holding any tension in the feet? Again, taking a nice deep breath, inhaling, filling the belly with air. And exhaling all of our stresses out of the system. Let go of anything you do not need to hold on to. And when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to slide your feet up the mat, placing the feet flat on the floor. And again, just making sure we're moving within comfort. Knees are bent. We're going to start off with an arch and tilt movement. Starting with the arch first. Just placing the hands down beside you or wherever they feel comfortable. As we inhale, we're going to arch through the low back, tilting the pelvis down, lifting the belly towards the ceiling, and then squeezing the shoulder blades down into the mat towards each other. Bringing our attention to the low back area. As we exhale, we're going to slowly and smoothly let everything melt back to neutral position, allowing those back muscles to lengthen again. Slowly, slowly, and smoothly. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. During this practice, just be mindful and note any sensory motor amnesia that you may feel. It may come up as a bit of a glitchiness or maybe a bit of a short type movement that's hard to move through. So we want to smooth out that area. So this time we're going to do the opposite movement. We're going to come into a tilt position. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose, fill the belly with air. And as you exhale, tilt the pelvis and bring the low back into the mat, contracting through the abdominal area. Bringing the focus into the abdominal area. We're going to release those muscles slowly, smoothly, and with control. Back to neutral position. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. We're going to alternate these a few times. So coming back into our arch movement, on the inhale, we're going to arch slightly through the low back area, tilting that pelvis, lifting the belly towards the ceiling, squeezing those shoulder blades down towards the mat and towards each other. Bringing the awareness to the front of the belly, and then exhale slowly and smoothly, allowing those muscles to return back to neutral. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. And we'll take another deep inhale in through the nose or the mouth. And as you exhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis the opposite direction, bringing the low back into the mat, contracting through the abdominal area, bringing the pelvis closer to the rib cage, bringing the attention to the front of the belly, and then very slowly and mindfully and smoothly releasing everything back to neutral. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. This time, we're going to go a little bit quicker through that transition in between. I'm going to bring my hands up in behind my head if you choose to. If this is not a comfortable position for you, then you may keep your hands down beside you. So my elbows are open down towards the floor. We're going to add onto the end a little curl up as long as that feels comfortable for you. So starting with that arch movement, as we inhale, we're going to arch through the low back, tipping that pelvis, squeezing those shoulder blades together and down towards the low back. Belly rises, bringing the attention to the lower back. And then as you exhale, we're going to slowly and gently and smoothly release through those muscles, lengthen out the back muscles again, coming back to neutral position. Moving through neutral, we're going to inhale again, and as you exhale this time, we're going to tip the pelvis, contract through those abdominal muscles, and then we're going to lift that upper body towards the knees, and then bring the elbows towards the midline, closer together. Bringing the awareness to the front of the belly. We're going to slowly and smoothly allow the upper body to melt back down to the mat. Very slowly and smoothly. When your head connects to the mat, you can slowly open those elbows out to the side. Back to neutral position. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. We're going to do that sequence once more. On the inhale, into our arch movement, tipping the pelvis down, arching through the low back, lifting the belly towards the ceiling, squeezing those shoulder blades together and downwards towards the lower back, bringing the attention to the lower spine, and then slowly and smoothly releasing back to neutral. Moving through neutral, take a nice deep inhale again. And as you exhale, tip the pelvis downward, low back towards the mat, contracting through those abdominals, and then lifting that upper body up towards the knees, bringing those elbows towards the midline, bringing the awareness to the front of the abdominal area, and then very slowly, smoothly, and mindfully releasing those muscles. Coming back down to neutral. When the head reaches the mat, you can slowly open through those elbows, allowing them to come back out to the sides. Just noting any of that sensory motor and amnesia or a little bit of glitchiness on those movements. We're going to release those hands, bringing them down by the side. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Then I'm going to invite you to, this is where you may need a pillow for underneath your head. I'm going to roll to the side. We're going to come into fetal position, lying on our sides, sort of like we're sitting in a chair. You may want a pillow underneath your head, or you can use your hand. Make sure that you feel comfortable in this space. So you can either leave your hand here in front of you, or you can bring it up and over, supporting the back of the head. Kind of bringing it to the other side of the head with your hand. So we're going to work through the side a little bit here. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, we're going to lift up just gently, slightly our mission here is to contract through the sides, bringing the rib cage closer to the hip bone, bringing your awareness to those muscles very slowly and smoothly, returning back to neutral. And again, moving through comfort, making sure that everything in our body feels really comfortable. Make any adjustments that you need. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. We'll repeat that again on the same side. Nice deep inhale through the nose or the mouth. As you exhale, lift that upper body, contracting through the side of the abdominals or the oblique muscles, bringing the rib cage closer to the hip bone. And then very slowly and smoothly releasing those muscles back down to neutral. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. On our next movement, we're going to add in a little bit of leg movement. So as we lift up, the heel is going to disconnect and lift up towards the ceiling, but our knee is going to stay connected to the other knee. And only if that feels comfortable for you. Nice deep inhale through the nose or the mouth. As we exhale, we're going to lift up towards the ceiling, and at the same time lift that heel up towards the ceiling, tuning into those muscles in the oblique area, the sides of the abdominals. And then very slowly, very smoothly, sensing for sensory motor amnesia in that leg, releasing and coming back down to neutral. And a reminder that at any point you can bring the arm down in front of you if you're finding that this is too intense for the shoulder. Coming back to neutral. When you reach neutral, you can rest. We'll try that one more time with the leg. Nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, bringing that up again, contracting those muscles. Rib cage to the hip bone, lifting that heel up towards the ceiling. And then very slowly and smoothly, allowing that to come back down to neutral position. And when you reach neutral, you can rest, release that top arm down beside you. We're going to release through that shoulder a little tiny bit. So on the inhale, we're going to lift up towards the ceiling with the hand. It's straight up towards the ceiling. And then if you want to, and if you feel flexible enough to do so, you can roll backwards a little bit further, opening up through the chest. And then very slowly and smoothly, bringing that back to neutral, bringing that hand down in front of you on the floor. And then one more time, nice deep inhale. We're going to lift that arm up to wherever it feels comfortable for you, up towards the ceiling. And then if you feel you have the flexibility to do so, coming back over the shoulder. And then very slowly bringing that back to neutral. Slowly and smoothly, taking your time. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. I invite you to roll onto your back. Take your time, changing position. We're just going to lengthen the legs for a moment. And I want you to sense with your body positioning, do you feel a difference between one side and the other through the core area? Does it feel like one leg is longer than the other just because of the release that we did? I definitely feel a difference. So take your time. We're going to roll onto the other side. I'm just going to change my positioning so that you can, if you need to see what I'm doing, you can see me. So rolling onto your side in that fetal position again, just as if we're sitting in a chair, making sure that if you need a pillow beneath your head, you can do so. So we're going to do the same thing. Either the hand can stay in front of you or it can come up and above and just cradling the other side of the head. Taking a nice deep inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to lift the upper body, thinking about bringing the rib cage to the hip bone, bringing awareness to that area of the body, and then very slowly and smoothly returning back to neutral. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. When you're ready, another deep inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to lift again, contracting through the core, through the obliques, rib cage towards the hip bone, bringing awareness to that side of the body. And as we release, very slowly, very smoothly, back to neutral position. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. We're going to do the same movement again, but this time we're going to add the heel lift towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhale through the nose or the mouth. As you exhale, lift the upper body. It doesn't have to be a big movement, and we're going to lift the heel towards the ceiling, just increasing that contraction a little bit, bringing awareness to the side of the body, and then very slowly and smoothly releasing back to neutral. And we'll do that once more. Nice deep inhale through the nose. And as we exhale, we're going to lift. And at the same time, we'll lift that heel towards the ceiling. Rib cage to the hip bone. Bringing awareness to that area of the body. And then very slowly and smoothly allowing the body to melt back to neutral. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. Releasing that arm that's above the head, perhaps bringing the hand out directly in front of your chest, palm towards the floor. We're going to do a nice deep inhale, lifting that arm towards the ceiling, allowing the head to follow. And if you feel comfortable to do so, bringing that arm back, crossing that midline. And then very slowly bringing that back to neutral position. Just moving slowly and smoothly. When you reach neutral, you can rest. And again, one more time, nice deep inhale as we lift that arm up towards the ceiling. You can either stay there for a moment or come back a little bit further to open through the chest and the shoulders. Just breathing normally. And then very slowly and mindfully bringing that arm back down in front of you. Back to neutral. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. I'm going to invite you again to roll onto your back. We're going to do a little bit of releasing through the core area. So you may want to have a pillow on each side of your knees, just beside your legs for extra support. You may also want one behind your head. So hands down beside you, just to where things feel comfortable. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. We're going to take the arms out into a T position, palms facing the ceiling, if that feels comfortable for you. We're going to start with the shoulders and the arms. I'm going to flip one palm gently down towards the floor, leaving the opposite palm up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to switch those palms. So the palm that is facing the floor is going to flip towards the ceiling. The palm towards the ceiling is going to flip towards the floor. And then again, we're going to switch, just very slowly switch those palms over. And again, at your own pace, just keep rolling that shoulder over. And then very slowly roll it over the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring both palms back towards the ceiling. Using your breath, just let everything melt and relax. We're very slowly going to allow the knees to roll to one side, just to where you feel comfortable, always within comfort, slowly and smoothly. And then very gently draw those knees back up to center. And then we're going to roll them over to the opposite side. And we exhale as we draw those knees slowly back up to center again. Inhale, rolling towards the other side. And now as I do this, keep rolling from side to side at your own pace. I'm going to roll my palm down, the same palm that the knees are coming over towards. So that palm is going to face the floor, the other one stays facing the ceiling. And then as you draw the knees up and over to the other side, we switch those palms again. So the knees roll over, that same palm rolls towards the floor, the other one rolls towards the ceiling. And just allow that movement as you're working through the switching from side to side. Allow that movement in through the shoulders. So we're opening through the chest. And just make this as small or big as you feel comfortable to do so. You want to make this movement just as beautiful and as delicious as you want to make it. Keep working with that breath, just rolling gently and smoothly from side to side. And naturally, we're going to let the head roll with that as well. So the head's going to roll towards the palm that is facing the ceiling. The knees are going the opposite direction. Coming back up to center, rolling those knees over, bringing the head over to the opposite side towards the palm that's flipping up towards the ceiling, away from the knees. Beautiful. Just a few more times. Rolling over. And then just try once more the opposite direction. This one always feels so good. Beautiful. Bring those knees back up to center. And then just release those arms down beside you. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. Finishing off with another arch and tilt movement just as we did in the beginning. You can either keep your hands down beside you or you can bring them up again in behind your head, making sure that you're moving within comfort. On the inhale, we'll come into our arch, arching the low back, tipping that pelvis, belly rises towards the ceiling, and then squeezing those shoulder blades inward and down towards the lower back. Beautiful. As we exhale, we're going to let all of those muscles very slowly and smoothly release back to neutral. Taking your time. Moving through neutral position, another deep inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that lower back down towards the mat, tipping the pelvis again, contracting through the abdominals. And then if you wish, you can lift that upper body towards the knees and then bring the elbows towards the midline, bringing awareness to the front of the abdominals very slowly and smoothly, allowing the upper body to come down and melt into the mat very slowly and mindfully. When the head reaches the mat, you can slowly open through those elbows out to the side. And once more, we're going to inhale, arch, tilt the pelvis, belly rises towards the ceiling, squeezing those shoulder blades down towards the mat, down towards the lower back, bringing awareness to the lower back area, and then relaxing on the exhale, allowing those muscles to lengthen and melt down towards the mat. And then as we move through neutral, nice deep inhale. Exhaling, pelvic tilt. Bringing that lower back towards the mat, contracting through the abdominals. We're going to lift through the upper body if you wish. Bringing those elbows together to the midline. Bringing awareness through the belly area, through the core. And then very slowly and smoothly releasing back to neutral. Allowing the head to connect with the mat again and then opening up through the elbows. Allowing everything to melt back to neutral. And when you reach neutral, you can rest. Allowing those arms to come down by the side. I'm going to invite you to extend the legs long, or you can leave them there. If it feels more comfortable to have them bent, always within comfort. Taking a nice deep inhale, filling the belly with air. And exhaling, letting everything go. Finishing off with a short body scan, we're taking note to see what has changed for our body. What are we feeling that might be different than when we started this practice? Starting with the head, the back of the head, how does it feel now in connection to the mat in comparison to when we first started the practice? Does it feel lighter? Is there less tension down through the neck, through the shoulders, into the back of the shoulder blades, down through the lower back? Is your lower back closer to the mat than it was when we first started? Coming back up to the front of the chest, through the shoulders, down through the arms, letting everything relax through the hands and the wrist and the fingers. Moving into the rib cage, the abdominal area, the pelvis. Again, breathing deeply through the nose or the mouth, filling the belly with air. And exhale, releasing anything that you do not need to hold on to today. Noticing in the hip area, does it have less tension than when you started the practice? Moving down through the front of the legs, moving around to the back of the glutes, the hamstrings. Are they connecting closer to the mat? Down through the knees, the back of the knees. Is there less tension and tightness? Are the knees rolled outwards or pointing up towards the ceiling? Moving down through the shins, the back of the legs, the calf muscles, into the ankles. You can move the feet, wiggle the toes. Just tuning into the body, giving gratitude to the SOMA. And again, breathing deeply in through the nose or the mouth. And big sigh, exhaling. Release everything that does not belong in your SOMA. And now I invite you to bend at the knees gently, drawing those feet up towards the floor, feet flat on the floor, and then rolling over onto your side very gently. Take a moment there just to relax. And again, breathing deeply. And exhaling. When you're ready, you may open the eyes if you have not already and bring yourself up to seated. Beautiful. So just finding that space that feels good for you. A reminder that this practice is for you. A reminder that whatever you feel like during this practice is your own. So I hope that you are feeling better. I hope that this felt good for you. Please let me know in the comments. And I just hope that this brings you a sense of relaxation, because that's what it's meant to do. Have an amazing evening or morning wherever you are, and I'll see you all next time.